Going on YouTube, Cloverbells here, back with another Scarlet Violet video, and today we are going to be recapping the Milwaukee Regionals from this past weekend. This will be our second of 3 recap videos. Our previous one was Victory Road October Challenge. Make sure to check that one out if you haven't done so already. And then after this one, we'll be also covering the Belo Horizonte Regionals, right? That one did not get a stream. So again, I like to say, look, Pokemon billion-dollar company, but we can't even get a second stream for their other regionals here, right? So why? I always ask that question. Why? Maybe one day we'll get an answer. Anyway, but Milwaukee was a big one. 700 plus players, and a lot was going on in this regional because again, this was like the Halloween regional because again, we're in the month of October. We got to see a couple of funny stuff, funny business there, right? We got to see Wolfglick and his little imposter with his little far-fetched idea right there. We also got to see his alternate persona, which was Golf Lick, right? If you just switch the letters there, which was kind of entertaining to say the least. I'm very surprised that Pokemon was able to allow this, but again, it's all in good fun, of course. Then we also got to see both Elise Johnson and Sierra on stream there, right? 2 women on stream, which is really, really nice. And Sierra had a hell of a run, by the way. She went all the way to top 8, and we're going to be looking at her team much more closely in a second. And if you didn't check the usage rate already, Blood Moon was at 48% usage. And this is why. Look, you've got 3 of them on the field at the same time there, right? This was the Zoroark shenanigans from Wolf when he was using it on his team. And we got to see it on stream against Leonard. So this was kind of funny when you look at it there, right? But again, this was a noteworthy regional because again, we're getting closer and closer to the end of Regulation H. We are now within the halfway point of the second go around in the format. But in the finals, there was a little bit of history, right? We got to see Alex Arand and Joshua Lorcy in the finals, both with pretty much the same team, right? This was like the Frankfurt winning team, with the Swords Dance, Acrobatic Sneasler, the Yawn Blood Moon with Terra Electric. And this is probably the team to beat right now. It's very, very common. And in fact, it's so common that the 6 Pokemon that both of these were using is actually the top 6 in usage rates in day 2, which we'll also preview in a second. But both were vying for their first regional win, and it ended up going to Alex in a very thrilling 3-game set. Fun fact, by the way, Alex, back in the Sword and Shield era, when it was like peak COVID, Alex was our coach back then. So if you don't get coaching for us, we 100% endorse Alex, right? If there's ever a guy to get coaching, you definitely should get it from him. We learned a lot from him, and it is part of the main reason why we were able to pick up the game relatively quickly, especially during a time where, a lot of other things were going on there. So definitely fully endorse Alex there. Congrats to him. It's been a long time coming. He's been playing this game for a very, very long time. So the fact that he was able to come out on top, kudos to them. So Alex, I don't know if you're watching, but congrats. And of course with Josh, with Mr. Lorcy over here, again, another hell of a run. Of course, he's had multiple top results in other regionals, and his first one is coming soon, very, very soon, of course. But anyway, we're gonna take a look at the teams. We're gonna look at usage rates. We're gonna look at some cores there because some interesting things were happening behind the scenes, of course, in terms of niche Pokemon and some usage rates for other Pokemon as well. And we'll see if we can kind of repaint the picture for Regulation H and where we are right now as we head closer to Las Vegas, but also as we head closer to some of the EU regionals coming up. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and go into Lab Mouse and let's take a look at the results. Okay, here we are in day 1 usage stats here. So honestly, no surprise from anything over here. If you looked at our Victory Road usage rates, this is pretty much almost a mirror of that. You've got Goldango, Instant, Rillaboom there at 1, 2, and 3, with Sneasler at number 4, Blood Moon at number 5, D-Knight at number 6. To be expected, right? Then the bottom half of the 6 is usually the Archaludon Rain stuff, with Pelipper, Basculegion, and the Archaludon itself, right? And then the other URSALUNA is within the realm of the bottom 6. Again, not as much uses as the Blood Moon because, again, there's more applications for the Blood Moon, but still, regular URSALUNA is still very, very good. Ground coverage is definitely very coveted, right? But then, as we go into day 2, this was a little bit more interesting. Look at Blood Moon going up to 3rd place there with 48% usage, just 1% shy of the Rillaboom there, right? And then Goldengo at 47%, right? And then Sneasler, down to 40%. But again, this is still like very, very good. And in fact, this is exactly what we said. Look at the top 6 here. This is pretty much a team that a lot of people are using right now. Again, this is like the winning squad from Frankfurt. And again, it is the team to beat there. It's just kind of funny how it's like the top 6 in terms of usage rate there. A little bit of a dip from Archaludon, right, down to 15% there. No Pelipper even, right, just missing out on the graphic there. Volcarona and Gambit, the double dance partners, are still there. And then Annihilate here at 18.6% there. So honestly, no real surprises just in terms of the Mons in the top rate. It's just like the percentages. Like Blood Moon at 48%. I don't think too many would have said that. Like you can definitely vouch for like 30+%, right? But 48 is kind of very interesting when you say the least. But it makes a lot of sense for what it's supposed to do right now in the format, especially the sets that you could run on it, whether it be a Life Orb set on some of these aggressive teams. It could be the Leftovers Yawn set. It could be an Assault Vest set on some of these Balance teams, right? So lots of ideas that you can definitely use with the Blood Moon, right? And again, unlike the other one, this is not prone to Intimidate. So all the more value to it as well. And then from here, you know what you're getting with Goldengo stuff, where, with setup, a nasty plot, just Terra Steel, if some of these have it, is just so strong. And, just one nasty plot, and then Make It Rain could just sweep you, right? So you have to be aware of that. Just in terms of board state and positioning to, set up the Goldengo, of course. The Ninetales, again, fairies are very far and few in this format, but when you can find them, like the Ninetales, it's very valuable because, again, with a lot of these Dragonites only having Scale Shot, one dragon move, you can't hit a fairy. So therefore, the Ninetales has insane value. And then at the same time, you get other cool stuff like Encore, Disable, Icy Wind, Aurora Veil. So the Ninetales has multiple applications depending on how you want to play it. But it's one of the best weather setters right now in this format, along with Pelipper and Tyranitar and Torkoal, right? Then Basculegion, again, doesn't have to be the Swift Swim user on the Archaludon Rain teams. We've seen a lot of value with the Sash set, with adaptability, right? With the Scarf set, and of course we still know the Band set, right? So that really has not changed there. So depending on how you want to use the Basculegion, it could even be on those Gambit Balance teams, or you could even call them the Sneasler Balance teams and whatnot. And then the Ape, of course, Final Gambit is always a threat. And even if they don't have it, you'll probably see this, with something like Coaching, or even just set up with Bulk Up. Sometimes you'll have Mouse hold to go with it, so it makes it a little bit more threatening. But the Ape has a few tools at its arsenal, which make it very much a top 12 threat here. So yeah, honestly, no real surprises here, but besides the high usage of Blood Moon at 48%. But let's see, with these teams, and let's see how these guys were used on a lot of those cores there. So now let's hop back into Lab Mouse and let's actually take a look there. All right, now before we take a look at some of the teams here, I actually want to look at some of the individual Pokemon themselves, and also look at some of the sets that were being used, especially like the most common ones. So if I peep here at Goldengo, let's see what it looks like right now. So it's still Life Orb as the most common used item, 51%, followed by the occasional Choice Specs, then Grassy Seeds, and some of them are even using Scarf here, right, along with Metal Coat here. So again, that means Nasty Plot is still the preferred set with the Goldengo here, right? And to each their own, right? We liked Grassy Seed for a hot minute, right, when we gave that team to Sam, when he made day 2 with our Cerulege team, right? So that's pretty cool. But again, you'll still see the occasional trick sets with either the Specs or the Scarf sets. Then if we go into something like Incineroar here, still Goggles is the preferred way, right? 57%, with the AV here, a distant second there at just under 17%. But still, you'll see the occasional Mirror Herbs. I think this item might go up a little bit, right? 3% now, but I expect this to go up a little bit more because, again, just being able to copy the King Gambit boost just makes it a pretty good offensive threat there. But we'll have to wait and see. All right, Rillaboom here. AV, of course, 70% there, still the preferred way, with Miracle Seed there at 18%. But again, notice how you'll see a lot more high horsepower these days, not too much U-turn anymore. Sometimes you'll see the occasional drum beating speed control, but not a whole lot. But now look at the development with Sneasler. Now, Grassy Seed has become their #1 used item on Sneasler, right? It was only a matter of time. We spoke about this before at Frankfurt. We knew this item would rise, right? And now it has officially become the most common used item on Sneasler, with the Sash taking a 3rd place there, right? Even Psychic Seeds is beating out the Sash here. And then you'll have the other White Herb item here. Of course, also getting good value out of that as well. But again, that means the Swords Dance set is going to be pretty popular. But even then, look at this, only 19% have it. So that means you can even get some value even without the Swords Dance, which is kind of interesting there. You'll still see like the occasional coaching sets, right? 24% there. So not too bad. But now we go to Blood Moon. It's still actually Life Orb here with the highest percentage, but not a whole lot. It's actually almost a 3-way tie with Life Orb, Leftovers, and Assault Vest, right? So Life Orb at 32%, Leftovers at 29%, and then the AB at 28%. So there's a very even split amongst the 3. And we'll see if Leftovers overtakes the Life Orb set. And, you know, that's just a testament to the Frankfurt team, right? But of course, that's the Yawn Leftovers set with Terra Electric. Okay. So then how about D-Knight here? Loaded Dice, again, 89% without a doubt. Choice Span there, the occasional 6% usage there. Basket Legion, I want to preview this one. So Scarf is still the most preferred way, and then the Choice Span, followed by a little bit of an uptick in the Focus Sash set, right? So that's to be expected. And then the Ninetales here, Sash and Cloak and Life Orb. This is pretty expected here, with the Sash being the most common used one, and then followed by the occasional Covert Cloaks here. And then the Ape here, a little bit more Goggles, some Berries, some Scarf, some Leftovers, right? You know, all of these are definitely very much valuable items here. Volcarona is another one that took my interest. How about Covert Cloak being the most common used item now? Covert Cloak Volcarona is actually really, really good. I like it more than Leftovers right now, just because, again, it's so good against stuff like Snarl, Icy Wind stuff, Fake Out, right? So this way you can freely click your Quiver Dance and whatnot. And then Grassy Seed, how about Grassy Seed? Again, the defense boost that you could get with Volcarona, we saw how common that was in Victory Road, because if you're going for Quiver Dances, right, where you're getting special defense boost, now you also have Grassy Seed to give yourself physical bulk, right? So that's good. So that means your Volcarona becomes a little bit harder to remove on the field. But yeah, and after that, you know, you can check some of these other guys out, but I just wanted to at least note some of the top mons here. I guess we'll take a look at Gambit here as our last one. Black Glasses and AV/Goggles at a tie there. But overall, some interesting things that we got to see with this. So, you know, it's not just enough to look at the teams, guys. You got to look at the individual mons and see how their item and their movesets are also changing, you know, with each big tournament. All right, so now let's look at the top 8 results here. And before we look at Alex and Joshua's team here, because, you know, they do have the same 6, we did mention this in the September Victory Road Challenge, when there was like 7 variations of Emanuele's team from Frankfurt. Like, they may have the same 6, but what's going to be different is the sets, right, that they have on them, as well as like the Terra types, right? So pay attention to that when you do play against the same 6 that these guys have. So let's look at Alex's version here in first place. So this one has, of course, it's going to have Electric Blood Moon, the Flying Sneasler. That much hasn't really changed. Terra Water Goldango with Nasty Plot, Ghost Instant with Goggles, right? Sash Ninetales with Terra Ghost with Icy Wind and Encore and Protect, and then Terra Fire Rillaboom with High Horsepower. So this is one variant, right? But then if you look at Joshua Lorcy's idea, there's a slight variance here. Let me make this a little bit bigger so this way it's a little bit more visual. All right, so now look at the difference in the Incineroar. So first of all, it's Citrus Berry and Terra Grass rather than the Goggles. So that's important, right? So this way, if you want to put this thing to sleep, he has to commit the Terra. Otherwise, he's going to have to go to sleep. The Goldango is the same. The Rillaboom is the same. Even the Blood Moon and the Sneasler are the same. The main difference here also is the Ninetales is Terra Ground with Terra Blast. This lets you hit Goldangos, Incineroars, and King Gambits, right? Because your Ice attack is resisted with those guys, right? So at the very least, if you want, Joshua says, I can go for this Terragon and I can give you a big, good old ground nuke. And, you know, that's like a 2-hit KO and then put you in range, right? And Alex doesn't have that option, but he does have Icy Wind and Encore. So two different ways of playing the Ninetales here. This one is a little bit more aggressive. This one is a little bit more disruptive and supportive, which is fine, right? It just depends on how you want to play certain Pokemon and certain ideas. So just pay attention when you do play against the same 6 here and their variants in the sets here. Then as we go down the list here, Leonard Craft III, this is a very common Maushold Annihilate idea with the Dug Core with Dragonite, Ursaluna, and Goldengo. It's AV Blood Moon with the Vacuum Wave, which again is super effective against Goldengo, right? It's a fighting move that, again, can hit a ghost type. And then it's the Grassy, well, I almost said Grassy Seed. So they have a Metal Plate Rillaboom, right? Rather than the Grass Plate there. A little bit more damage with your Grassy Glide and Wood Hammers, right? Because the AV's on the Blood Moon. And then it's a Citrus Berry Ape. It's not a Goggles Ape. And then this is the Sash Muscle. Nothing else about that stands out, right? We've seen that since the beginning in September. Dylan Matthews over here has, again, another balance idea with Dragonite, King Gambit, and Ninetales. So there's your fantasy core. Then you add Instant Amoonguss, but instead of Amoonguss, it's actually Sinistra in this case, right? With a little bit of recovery. You got the Trick Room option here, which is going to help you with your Gambit and your Blood Moons, right? These are Trick Room sweepers, so that's pretty good as well. This might even just be like modest 252 HP, 252 special attack there. Who knows? But again, another disruptive Ninetales. So nice idea there with Dylan. Then Brian Collins here. Look, Brian Collins in 5th place with Hard Trick Room here, but there are some differences with this type of Hard Trick Room. First of all, you're still getting Indeedee, Hatterene, and Torkoal as your core, right? Then you add the Hisuian Lilligant, right, with your fast mode. That's okay. But then these are usually stuff like Gallade and Ursaluna, right? But in this case, Brian Collins says, let's actually add Furrygraph and make it an offensive option. So now it's got Expanding Force, right? And if you ever click Hyper Voice, so now your Expanding Force is +1, okay, because of the Throat Spray, and you're in Psychic Terrain. So, and again, it is Stab too, right? Because you are a Psychic type. So all of a sudden, this is a offensive Furrygraph, funny enough, okay? And then you do have Hyper Voice, and all right, so this is like 2 spread moves here, right? And then look at this. Clear Amulet Incineroar with Close Combat. This was a selling point here. This reminds me of something that was done in Sword and Shield, but yet we're bringing it back here in Scarlet and Violet. Close Combat Instant. It's offensive, right? Because again, Clear Amulet makes it so that, again, you can't get intimidated. And then, Helping Hand, Close Combat, that probably just kills like other Incineroars, other Ursalunas too, right? I would imagine. So very interesting, right? 2 Close Combat users. But nice idea here from Brian Collins. A little bit of innovation with the Hard Trick Room archetype. You very rarely see it this high in 5th place. Yes, it can make day 2, but as far as like 5th place here, that's usually outside the realm of it. And then here we go, Wolf Glick here. So again, Fake Tears Whimsicott with 2 special attackers. All right, the Mirror Herb Incineroar is a rising item, like we said earlier. This is going to help you put pressure into King Gambits. Terra Fighting Dragonite. You never see this Terra either. With low kick. So again, we're getting a bit of a variance here with the sets of D-Knight. And then over here, Hisuian Zora, of course. Bitter Malice makes a lot of sense. Icy Wind support, Protect and Taunt, right? So you got Taunt and Encore here for your Disruption, right? Parting Shot, again, the pivot move. When does Wolf not use Incineroar, right? Then here we are, Sierra's team. So again, they got a Primarina, right? And they also have a Dragonite. And we said this in our own Primarina video. Because you can run Haze on this Primarina, that means that you can free up a move slot on the Dragonite besides Scale Shot. And here we are. We got Extreme Speed Terra Steel. This is what we showcased in our Primarina video. So good job here from Sierra. The rest is just, Sneasler Balance stuff, right? Electabuzz here, Rillaboom here. But look at this. Blood Moon here comes on with Terra Electric Yawn stuff. And then, Grassy Seed Sneasler with Swords Dance Acrobatic stuff. So you got the Fake Out. You got the Yawn Pressure. You have the Redirection. You have the space to set up the Swords Dance. No Gambit here, which is funny. But again, at the same time, you can just outpace the Incineroar Intimidates with something like Swords Dance. So smart idea there from Sierra. Good building there. And congrats on the top 8 results. Then we go down to Riley Factura, the only Rain team here. Archaludon Rain. And instead of Goldengo being the special attacker setup, we had the Kamao coming onto this and being the special attacking setup here, but Clanging Scales, Clangorous Souls stuff, right? And Aura Sphere is a very good special attacking damage move that you can get from something like, Blaziken, right? But Kamo is just much stronger, right? And you're a dragon type, so that means you get to resist the grass coverage, the electric coverage that these things are weak to, right? And then Kamo, again, just with Terra Fairy here, it just allows you to get around Scale Shot, Overcoat, no sand stuff, no Among Us Spore shenanigans there. So this Kamo is just poised to sweep. Usually you might see something like a Sinistra here, but Among Us still makes sense here, especially when you can click Spore and put things to sleep here. So everything else looks pretty standard. It's just there's a Kamo on this. And, you'll be expected to see something like this moving forward, right? I think more people are going to try Riley's variation just because, again, Kamo's a Pokemon that you normally don't get to see this high in this kind of meta. Like, again, you can play it. It can do well. It can give you a day 2, but it usually doesn't get within top cut here. So grats to Riley, man. Good results. So honestly, look, how many Blood Moons do we see in top 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Blood Moons in the top 8 here, right? So that's also relatively fine. And then how many Incinerators? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Incinerates. 1, 2, 3. Only 4 Rillabooms technically, right? And 1, 2, 3, 4 Dragonites there. How many Goldengo? 1, 2, 3, 4. And all right, just 4 Goldengos there. So some common mons, right? These are common mons for good reason. But yeah, you got your 2 Blood Moon Balance teams here. You got your Mouse 8 team over here. Some Dragonite Balance team that Dylan is using. A Heart Trick Room team. And a Hyper Offensive team here with Wolf. A Sneasler Balance team here with Primarina. And then Riley Factura running a Rain team with Archaludon, Pelipper, and Kamo here. So some variants, right? Not too bad. But now let's look at the other cores and let's see what everyone else is running. All right, so now let's look at the other Archaludon teams that were being used here. And what's really interesting with, again, Archaludon is you can use it on both Rain and non-Rain teams here. So we've already covered Riley's team here, right? So now let's look at some other ideas that you can do. How about Killan's team here? I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm not, I apologize. But anyway, we got Dondozo Tatsugiri here. So we've said this before, but Dondozo Tatsugiri is placed relatively well in the meta. Because again, yes, there is Haze Dragonite and stuff, but you have to be in position to click that. Otherwise, if they just remove your Dragonite, then Dondozo Tatsugiri runs away with the game, or it's in a good spot to run away with the game. And here you have everything to help you do that. You can Final Gambit that Dragonite, right? You have Archaludon here with Sturdy to help you remove the Dragonite, okay? You can burn, or not burn, but again, you have Tailwind on your team that can help you outspeed the D-Knight and KO it first before it gets to click Haze. So lots of stuff that you can do here against Haze, or against, your buff removals. So I like this a lot. Okay, and what's really cool about this Nihilape is that it's safety goggles with coaching. So now what you could do is partner this with Dragonite and Dondozo, where you can protect turn 1, coach the Dondozo, then go into your Tatsugiri and go +3 instead of +2. And then this D-Knight here, again, with Scale Shot and Extreme Speed, now all of a sudden you have +1 Extreme Speeds, +1 Scale Shots, okay, along with the Speed Boost that you would be getting with the Scale Shots too. So you can always go with this direction, right? So I like that a lot. So it's a nice way to utilize Dondozo Tatsugiri. Then you go to George's team. This is another rendition of Archaludon Rain. It's actually Sturdy with Power Herb, right? And then everything else is pretty much the same. Here, normally you would get something like an Among Us, but instead we're being aggressive with the Whimsicott here with Fake Tears, because we got 2 special attackers here with Goldengo, with Terra Fighting, Terra Blast, which is great into like Incin and King Gambit that really pressures Goldengo, and also pressures Basculegion too, so you can get rid of that immediately. And then you still have the special attack offense coming from these guys, right? And don't forget, this Pelipper is usually Scarf, and they don't necessarily need Tailwind support. But again, another Pokemon that can benefit off of Fake Tears, right? So like Hurricanes are gonna hurt, Weather Balls are gonna hurt. So it's a really, really cool team that's been going around for a bit. Paul Chua here. This is like Grimmsnarl stuff rather than Ninetales. So Light Screen Reflect, Thunder Wave Reflect, very standard Grimmsnarl set. This is not a Rain team, but it's a solo Archaludon with AV Stamina, right? So you can definitely use that. And then you do have the Blood Moon here. So you can go with Tailwind support, Terra Steel, Make It Rain with Goldengo. Then you've got the support Volcarona with Rage Powder, Struggle Bug, and Tailwind. So now the Blood Moon can just hide behind this thing, hide behind screens, and deal big damage, right? So Paul's team is actually pretty fun when you get to use it. How about this one right here? Bobby Rochelle. Look at this idea. So Acrobatics, Grassy Seed Sneasler, right? Again, still pretty good. Power Herb Archaludon. And then the Fake Out Boys. You got the Yawn URSALUNA, the Ninetales here. So all in all, you know, nice take on the Grassy Seed Sneasler balance stuff here. We've seen this before already. Instead of like a Basculegion, you have an Archaludon here, which again still makes sense here. Then we got Jimmy here using a different kind of rain user with the Politoed. Look at this. It's not even Perish Politoed, right? It's just Muddy Water, Weather Ball, and Encore. Mystic Water. So this is actually going to be an offensive Politoed. Then we've got Sneasler Psyspam stuff with Indeedee. Braviary comes here. That is something you normally don't see right now. Terra Psychic Expanding Force is going to hurt. Normally you're a flying type. You don't really get the full benefit of the terrain here. But hey, Tinted Lens. Yes. Esper Wing. Okay. Cool move. And then, of course, you got the URSALUNA and the Trick Room stuff. So, yeah, nice idea there from Jimmy. Pretty unique. You'll never see something like this, but Jimmy was able to make it work here. Then you got another rain idea with Benjamin, with, again, Pelipper, Basculegion, Arch. Then you got these three guys. Murkrow here with Pelipper. So you still got Manual Rain Dance with Haze. And then you got Blood Moon URSALUNA that can click Hyper Voice. And then Rillaboom here. Not even... Loaded Dice Bullet Seed into Archaludon. Very disappointed in that. Come on, Ben. I'm just kidding. You know, this is, again, still a really, really solid squad here that finally gets to utilize Murkrow, right? Mike Bishop looks like the same team that we looked at earlier. Craig here. Oh, look at this. No Annihilate here, but we still got Population Bomb Mousehold here with Sinisha. It almost looks like there wants to be an Annihilate here, but there's not. It's actually Gambit instead of the Annihilate. I'm very curious as to that decision, but at the very least, it does give you some Psyspam matchup, right? Because you do have a Dark type here on your team. You could still click Follow Me Swords Dance, right? And still put pressure there. You do have Goggles here, so... And then at the same time, you do have the Sinisha to help you redirect any of those fighting moves and also any of those ground moves. So it still works, right? So I do like this idea. This is still like totally fine from Craig. And then Blake, again, back-to-back results with Quaquaval, man. So, you know, he's had a memorable Regulation H run where he gets to use one of his favorite mons here. And here we get another result here with Quaquaval. Shout outs to Blake, man. Nobody else is using it but you. Then Mason Cutler here, who again is also utilizing a combo with an Archaludon team, but it's not that same kind of combo, right? This is IDBP. Yeah, it is Iron Defense Body Press. With Flamethrower here, which means not even rain. Look at this Murkrow. Perish Song Murkrow. Holy smokes. Alright, then Final Gambit Ape. This is pretty cool, right? Because again, once you click Final Gambit, you're already down to needing to KO one more Mon before you get to click Perish Song, which is kind of funny when you think about it. And then, you know, Terra Ghost Mouse. You can always just pivot this out and whatnot. And then Make It Rain, Terra Steel Goldango. Again, it's going to hurt a lot. Then look at this one right here. Again, not even using Pelipper here. More Archaludon Balance stuff. You got Talonflame, Garchomp, no Goldango. We got Sneasler though, no coaching. Alright, we got Ninetales here with Aurora Veil. Alright, we got that. And then the Arch here. Double Dragon Core again. No Dragonite, but again, we do have a Garchomp here. Usually this will be like Terra Grass Archaludon with Stamina, so this way if you Earthquake next to it, you'll give yourself a +1 boost. You'll easily resist it, right? But in this case, no. We're going with Stalwart Terra Electric. Good idea there. Then Nishant, Josh. Oh yeah, Nishant's team, right? Back in day 2, Nishant, what are we running here? Thank you. There we go. We got the Bullet Seed Rillaboom with the Archaludon here. This is what you're supposed to do if you have Rillaboom and Archaludon on the same team here. Thank you, Nishant. Okay, we see the Clover way. All right, then what else we got? Population Bomb Mousehold. Calm Mind URSALUNA. Okay, there we go. There's the other setup. All right, and this is great with Rillaboom Terrain Recovery too, right? And Leftovers. You just don't die now, right? Because again, now you have Spadef boost and you got... oh no, I was going to say, is this Frangard? Nah. All right. And then Grassy Seed Sneasler. No Swords Dance needed. Just be instant offense. But again, this is still pretty cool too. I like that. What else we got? Then we got Bazad here, another Archaludon stuff, but this one we got Scyther here. More on this when we speak about Nishmons a little bit later. Steven Schmidt here. This is Indeedee Sneasler Psyspam stuff with Archaludon. Then Volcarona, again, support Volk. Strugglebug Rage Powder Tailwind with Covert Cloak. Choice Specs Primarina with Uproar. Hello, there's a tech. Calm Mind Sinister with Key Proof. Okay, we've seen this before from Matt. So they're trying to make use of it here, and it did work. Gets you into day 2. And that Kevin here, that looks like the same Donozo team that we just saw earlier. So all in all, some pretty diverse ways of using Archaludon. Not just on rain teams, but even on non-rain teams. There's a lot of variants that you can play with right now, which is why, again, it is one of the top 12 mons of the format. Let's look at Volcarona teams next, because I think this is like, again, one of the other big takeaways of this regional, that the Grassy Seed Volcarona was definitely taking over here. So let's look at Ethan's team over here. I'd say this is one of the big takeaways here, this type of team. This is more than one squad here. But anyway, so it's Grassy Seed Volcarona, right? Which means you're going to play with Rillaboom. Then you add the Basculegion, and now you got your Fire Order Grass Core, right? So you have your physical instant offense Basculegion, you have your wind condition Volcarona, right? Then you got the support tools in the Incineroar and the Ninetales. So you're gonna get the Aurora Veil, you're gonna get the disruptions with Taunt and Encore, and at the same time, you still have Fake Out Pressure, you still have Knockoff and Parting Shot, all the tools needed with Incineroar, right? Just to help Volcarona stay on the field and survive. So now you have Grassy Seed boost, and you have Rail, and you have Intimidate. So now all of a sudden, Volcarona is a very big threat on the field that becomes hard to remove. All you need to do is just watch out for Haze, which is why you have stuff like Taunt, right? And then at the same time, you can pressure the D-Knights first with something like a Ninetales here. And then your own Volcarona with Terra Fairy is also very threatening to the Dragonite. And then you still have URSALUNA here, which again will create the space to be able to set up your said Quiver Dance, right? So this is a really, really cool team. If you want to go to a local like right now, I would bring this team, right? Just me personally, I'm bringing this because I like Volcarona and I like the way we have all the tools to be able to set up. I think we'll even spotlight this for a video where we'll slap on some EV spreads here and we'll just test it out a little bit. But this is like one of the big takeaways in my opinion. But besides that, what other ways was Volcarona being used? If you look at Andrew Burke's team here, is this the same stuff? Yes, it is. So look at this. 2 copies of the same team there. And again, we saw this in Victory Road as well. All right, when we did the recap there. How about this idea? So now all of a sudden, let's play the Volcarona differently. Now this is Leftovers Volk, same set though. And the Grassy Seed is now on the Sneasler. You still got Rillaboom, Ninetales, and Incineroar, right? So you still got the Fake Out boys. No Veil here, but you do have Encore on this, right? This is AV Incineroar there. So and Buzz gives you that redirection to be able to set up the Swords Dance, right? So this is still like pretty good when you think about it. Another playstyle for the Volcarona Balance. But then I'm going to go to Elise's team at the end of the video when we look at more niche stuff here. Zach's team here. Covert Cloak Volcarona with AV Blood Moon, Grassy Seed Sneasler, Fake Out Boys, Alolan Ninetales, right? Icy Wind and Disable. Again, another variation that you can definitely take advantage of here. So we're seeing lots of Volk balance stuff. People are mixing things up here. How about this one? This one from Joshua. This is like more traditional stuff. Again, Covert Cloak Volk with Quiver Dance and Swords Dance. We call this the double dance. No triple dance. I thought we would see that with Sneasler here, but again, this is just Grassy Seed, instant offense with Terra Dark, Throat Chop to pressure Goldengo, right? And then Buzz Gambit is still very strong. Scale Shot, Extreme Speed, Haze, Dragonite, no Tailwind here needed. Why? Because look how much priority and look how much Volcarona Quiver Dance can get with you, right? And you also have Electro Web here, so you don't necessarily need Tailwind on the Dragonite there. Then Alberto Lara, look at this. This is Terra Grass Giga Drain Volcarona, and then Screens Grimmsnarl, just like in Ninetales. And then you still have Goldengo here to be able to click Make It Rains after set. Oh, actually, there's no Tailwind on this. This is just straight double dragons here with Hydreigon, Garchomp, Goldengo. We've seen this before. These three back in like Regulation A, right? So we bring that combo back here, and then we got Corviknight again with like bulk up stuff with body press and stuff. So yeah, shout out to Alberto, man. Still looking strong with the Garchomp Corviknight stuff. Is this just like the tank team stuff, right? No, this is actually a little bit different. Again, still double dance idea here. No, it's not. Wait a second. Hold on. Look at this Gambit set. Cleave, Punch, and Terra Blast, Terra Flying. Oh, this is strong against Sneasler, right? So that's nice. Terra Fairy, right? And then again, coaching here. Look at all the coaching targets. Arcanine, Dragonite, Rillaboom. They took out the Ninetales. Yeah, I just noticed that. They took out the Ninetales. But you still get Intimidate here. You still get Fake Out Pressure here with Rillaboom, right? And again, Volcarona needs Intimidate. So instead of Instant, we're going with the Arcanine, right? Which is, again, another Intimidate user, but again, a little bit more offensive. Imagine you put Gyarados here, right? Just to give you a Fire Water Grass Core. Maybe that could be something that you can consider, right? And then at the same time, you can coach the Gyarados, which again, Sneasler has a tough time dealing with. So, you know, that might be another idea to explore later on. But hey, you didn't hear it from me, right? All right, as we go forward, what else can we do here? Is this more standard stuff from Kevin? Yep, it looks like it. Yep, double dance with Electabuzz Gambit stuff. Okay. Matt Bruno, look at this one. This is one of the more unique teams of the tournament. We got Life Orb Volcarona with Terra Rock. Look at this. What the heck is this? Bug Buzz, Heat Wave, Terra Blast. Okay. Terra Blast, Terra Rock. What? Is that for Incineroar? I think it might be for like Incineroar and like other fire types, right? Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Drifblim, Psychic Seeds with Indeedee. Kama-O coming yet again with Hydreigon. Double Dragons again. So, you know, you're seeing a lot of double dragon ideas. IDBP set. And then Boom Burst stuff with Toxtricity. That's good for Drifblim. That's good with Hydreigon. Soundproof Kama-O. So there's the synergy there with this Toxtricity. Actually, this is a really cool team. Matt Bruno, shoutouts to you, man. This is a great team. Look at this. I want to play this. Maybe we can build this later and maybe show it off in one of our niche Pokemon video. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, we've seen a lot of this stuff already. This one has the Ninetales here with the Fake Out Boys. Mirror Urbanton, again, Rising Item. Tailwind D-Knight. Terra Steel, Make It Rain, Goldengo. More Volcarona Grassy Seed stuff. And Aurora Veil Ninetales. Okay, so this is another rendition of that from Habib Omar. All right, there we go. 6-6, right? So wait, does that mean they just lost? Oh, okay. So yeah, 6-2, but then, you know, just a little bit unlucky in day 2 there. But again, so Grassy Seed Volcarona on the rise, okay? And I think that's like one of the big themes of this tournament. So pay attention to the Volcarona Grassy Seed teams moving forward. Porygon-2 Balance is still also one of my favorite art types here, but there's some notable teams here. But again, it really just comes down to what is in that 6th slot, because the other 5 are going to be the same. You'll either get something like a Kilowattrel, you'll get something like a Hydreigon, you'll get something like a Dragonite, maybe even Tyranitar. But it's usually a slot with Tailwind is going to be that 6th slot there. So Exhibit A, look at Kayleen Brown's team here. This is the Hydreigon team, right? This is Safety Goggles Hydreigon with Tailwind, which means these Ursalunas are usually a little bit faster. They have speed, so this way they can play in the Tailwind mode, but still relatively slow enough where you can play in the Trick Room mode. Now, what's interesting here is that the P2 Terra Fairy type, usually you'll see Terra Fighting for the Incineroars and the King Gambits, but here we have the Fairy, which can be pretty useful against something like a Dragonite, for example, here. And then you still got Ice Beam, Trick Room Recover stuff. All right, other than that, it's still pretty a relatively standard P2 Balance team. Then we go to Dante's team, and this is like one of the more unique Typhlosion teams here. So you still have the P2 Balance idea with like P2 Amoonguss and Ursaluna, but now you also have a fast mode here with Dragonite and Typhlosion. So Dragonite can give you Tailwind, which again synergizes well with Ursaluna, but now you also have an offensive way where you can click Tailwind and then click Eruption with Typhlosion here. And this is Life Orb Typhlosion. You usually don't see this item. It's usually like Specs or Scarf or Charcoal, but here we have Life Orb, which means you're going to still have a pretty hard-hitting Shadow Ball, right? And then Torkoal here, again, with Torkoal next to Typhlosion, right? You can click Helping Hand, Heat Wave, Helping Hand, Eruption, and then you have your own Eruption in Trick Room. So you do have a slow mode and you still have a fast mode to the team. So this is a pretty cool idea from Dante. So I like that squad a lot. Shout outs to them. Then you have Battle Room, aka Colin. using the Kilowacho instead of the Hydreigon, which again, competitive is nice because, you know, Incineroar wants to pressure the Ursaluna and the Goldango, but if you do that, you're going to make Kilowacho hit like a truck. Then it's AV Incin, Terra Fighting, Terra Blast P2 with the ice coverage there, and then there's the Amoonguss, right? So pretty standard stuff there from Colin. Then you get your one Marco Silva Sun team, right? They'll always make an appearance here. So Matt Francis, you are the Lone Star here. Then after that, more Kilowacho stuff. Is this going to be Specs? No, it's just Sash again. And then that's pretty much it, right? Eric Martinez, I think it's just the Hydreigon stuff again. Yeah, there it is. And then what else can I see from other P2 battles? How about this one? I'm going to spotlight this one for a second just because it does have a rain component to this. Like Pelipper, Archaludon, P2, and Ursaluna. Look at this, right? Try attack Shadow Ball Trick Room, all right? And then support Volk yet again. Struggle Bug Rage Powder, okay, with Will-O-Wisp, right? And then you have Overheat here, right, in the rain. That makes sense. And then I'm just kidding. And then Struggle Bug here, again, just neutering special attack damage here, right? So this is another really cool team. I'm sad that this went 5-3. Would have loved to see this in day 2, but I did want to at least spotlight that one because I thought it was a pretty cool take on Porygon-2 Balance with Trick Room stuff there. So shout out to Zach over there. 128, just on the dot there. All right. So anyway, more P2 stuff more later on, right? But again, the most common thing is either that Hydreigon or Kilowacho variant. But shout outs to Dante. I think that Typhlosion idea is also pretty cool. I still think that Tyranitar is a good mon to use in the format, of course, but only just 4 teams in day 2 there. But let's spotlight some of them. They all have like some Psyspam variant or some Corviknight idea, right? So let's look at Baby Sing's team over here. We got 4 fighting weaknesses, right? We got Hydreigon, Incin, Excadrill, Tyranitar here. But some interesting ideas here. First of all, Scarf Tyranitar. You never see that. Okay, but Scarf T-Tar, Rock Slide, Knockoff, Stone Edge, Terra Blast, might be even Jolly variant. I don't even know. There is Tailwind on the Corviknight there, so there's that. Hydreigon with Excadrill is also pretty cool there, right? Because again, some synergy there. Earthquake with Hydro. Oh, this is actually a pretty cool idea, right? With Levitate, right? Again, with Levitate and then Excadrill, you know, partnered next to a dragon is pretty nice here. And Fire Blast, right? You know, no Heat Wave, no Flamethrower, Fire Blast. We really, really want the KO, right? With Terra Fire here. So I think this is pretty cool. And then, of course, you still have the Terra Flying on the Tyranitar. So what you could do is just lead Excadrill Tyranitar, pivot out into either Hydreigon or Corviknight, and then just click Earthquake. So some good ideas for pivoting potential when you really think about it there. AV Incin and then Amoonguss for your defensive backbone, your Trick Room plays. Bulk up Corviknight with leftovers is pretty good. And then again, you still have your Tailwind support here. So all in all, I think this is actually a pretty underrated Sand team. So shout outs to Baby Sing. Again, 10-3. Great result there. Eric's team here looks like our global challenge team, right? Because we have the same 6, but just slightly different sets here. So again, our 6 works. Terra Psychic Expanding Force with Terra Blast. So we had, I think, Terra Ground on ours. Again, global challenge. Terra Dragon Annihilate with Bulk Up, Drain Punch, Rage Protect. Okay, so the Dragon Terra is interesting. Standard Tyranitar, standard Excadrill, also standard Sneasler there. And then it's Beat Up Mousehold here, which again is nice with the Annihilate there. So I like the 6. Like again, it was good in the global challenge when we gave this to Philip, and it still makes sense here in the best of 3 setting. Then we look at Adit's team here. Look at this. You still have some ideas here with Talonflame, Garchomp, and Goldango. That's like one of your starting cores. Then you add the Sand component with Tyranitar, and now this is Sandvale Chomp, and this is how they got into day 2. I saw the tweets. Apparently, Brian Kim, he missed like a very key attack on the Garchomp because of Sandvale. I think it was the Blood Moon, right? And then, because of that, Chomp lives, gets to click an attack, and then sends them into day 2. So when you think about it, it's kind of funny. Then you got Sinistra here with Trick Room Recovery. But really the selling point is this Lucario here with Inner Focus, especially with the Sash here. So you got a hard-hitting close combat. You can't get intimidated. You can't get faked out. Extreme Speed. Meteor Mash is also a pretty cool skill to have here. So you got the double steel type going here. Lucario coming onto this. What a thought. And I understand they also ran this with a partner. So yeah, that was really cool too. That's a pretty cool team. You don't see Lucario with this high. So nice idea there. Noah Smith here. This looks like the Joe UX9 Sand team here with both Corviknight and the Ape here. Final Gambit Ape, of course, is a threat. So we've seen this team before. Good enough for day 2. Shout out to Noah there again. So what did we learn? Some Psyspam components, Corviknight stuff. Again, it's still pretty good with Tyranitar. Then we still got the stuff with like Kamo here. So even though Spencer here went 5-3, I still like this kind of Kamo Sand team here, right? So you still got Tyranitar, Excadrill. Now you add a Dragon here with Kamo instead of something like Hydreigon. You got Sinistcha recovery here with Incineroar and Basculegion, right? But look at this Kamo set. Clanging Scales, Flamethrower, Aura Sphere. So no Clanger Soul there. Very interesting there. But again, you just need the setup, and then you got these hard-hitting Flamethrowers, these hard-hitting Aura Spheres. You're fine. And I still like this kind of 6. I think this is a really, really good idea. I think we previewed this as well, like on our own Tyranitar Sand team with Kamo here. And then you still got the Basculegion instant offense with adaptability and Choice Scarf here. So I still like this. Like this is still pretty good when you think about it. And Sinistcha, timely switching can get your Sash back on your Excadrill. So unfortunately, no day 2, but 5-3 is still like pretty good when you think about it. Then the Dusclops stuff, right? We saw this in the previous regional, but Dusclops, again, besides like Goldango, there's not really a whole lot of things that can do big damage into it besides, okay, I guess it can Gambit. And you do have the Eviolite on your side. Pain Split is annoying. Nightshade consistent damage is good. And then Will-O-Wisp for the big physical attackers, like a Dragonite, for example. You can't fake this thing out. So all in all, you can have the space to Trick Room. And, you got a ban Tyranitar here. That might be relatively so. And then look at this. Blood Moon URSALUNA still, at the same time, can deal out a lot of offense, especially in the Trick Room games. And usually Blood Moon can come into the sand ideas with Tyranitar Excadrill. So now you'll double up on the ground type here. But you still got the Psyspam mode with the Needy and the Sneasler there. So still staying true to the core that works. But all in all, I think we'll have to see a little bit more from Sand. Because there wasn't a whole lot here, but I still think Tyranitar is a good mon. Alright, so now for this part of the video, now we're going to take a look at some niche Pokemon in teams that also did relatively well here. Because again, we like to say Regulation H is a lawless land where a lot of things can be viable if you build around them correctly. So let's take a look here. There was a lot. So as we scroll down here, look at Michael Zhang's team here. Look at this. By the way, Shane, or actually even before Michael Zhang's team, look at Shane's team over here. Another Typhlosion instant offense team. The fake out boys are coming. Ferrograph is a good choice because again, with Armor Tail, you take away Sucker Punch priority into your Typhlosion. Tailwind, URSALUNA clicking Hyper Voice is strong, right? You outspeed everything. Tailwind, Eruption is strong. And then Throat Spray, Ferrograph, again, Hyper Voice with a Psychic move here is also very nice. Again, +1 Throat Spray. This is another takeaway. Like Throat Spray, Ferrograph was also relatively useful. And even Terra Fairy here. So now the dark moves aren't very strong into you. So I like this. This makes a lot of sense. Shout outs to Shane. The Magmar stuff. Okay, actually we'll go back to this, but the Magmar stuff is still like pretty good. This type of Sneasler Balance team is still like solid. This is Olivia's team, but I like Magmar as a whole, man. I think Magmar is really solid. All right, now we go into Michael Zhang's team. Look at this. We got some Pokemon here. First of all, here's the Magmar. Tauros, Paldean, Blaze, Mirror Herb stuff. So, right, you get to copy the Gambit boost here. Got some Will-O-Wisp support here. Meowscarada with Focus Sash there. Keely is a fan of this, right? And then AV Metagross. Yo, Dynamax is over, Michael. Why are we using Metagross? Obviously, he found a niche for it. Heavy Slam for the Fairy types. Rock Slide for Volcarona. Terra Flying and Whiff the ground move. Psychic Fangs, Break Screens, Bullet Punch priorities. It's going to hurt a lot. Haze, Primarina. Hydreigon here with Covert Cloak. You still got a Dragon Fairy Steel Fire with a Grass Core going. So there's that, right? And it's Tailwind Hydreigon here. So this is a pretty cool, unique team there. Michael is one hell of a player. Then as we scroll down here, We'll find some other. Oh yeah, we got a slacking in day 2. Look at Billy Helm's team. Look at this. Regular Weezing slacking here. Of course, neutralizing gas, taking away abilities. Dondozo Tatsugiri. And then here we got the Mamoswine idea. Yes, sir. Right? Ice ground coverage is so good right now. It's just, it hits a lot of the top 12 for big damage. Then you've got Kilowattrel here. Competitive, especially, right? Now you can click Discharge next to your Mamoswine. Deal big damage, and then at the same time you can click Earthquake, right? So you got the modern day Disc Quake combo here, along with Weezing, Slacking, Dondozo Tatsugiri to clean up in the end game. Substitute Dozo, especially, right? In the Trick Room games, very, very annoying, hard to break. This is the way to use Dondozo Tatsugiri with Weezing, Slacking stuff. Okay, then we got, oh, look at this team from Rajan Ball. What is this? We got Kanto Ninetales, again, here with Terra-type Fairy, Heat Wave, and then Helping Hand. Ooh. And then Whimsicott Dragon Bolt stuff again. Is this Sword and Shield? Right, then we got Sinistra here, so double Ghost type here. URSALUNA looks pretty good here. Kanto Ninetales is a set, right? Why do we have Kanto Ninetales? What is the reasoning here? I wonder. I guess a fast Heat Wave, I guess? Does that make sense? Maybe, why not just Torkoal, right? You got Trick Room here, you got URSALUNA. I don't know why we have the Kanto Ninetales here. Maybe Rajan can explain more, but yeah, that's very interesting there. All right, we got Garganical here, right, with the very standard Dondozo Tatsugiri stuff, with Goldengo here, coaching Sneasler again. It's gonna help a lot into Dozo. Oh, look at this one, Joshua Robinson. We got more Kilowattrel URSALUNA stuff. It's not even Disquake. But we got Vivian too, so lots of synergy here with Earthquake next to 2 birds, or technically a butterfly. We got into the Armarouge stuff. You don't see that too often, but it's still often enough. This is like what, Regulation A stuff. And then you still have the Sneasler idea here. Finally, we get to Lisa's team here. 8-4. We got the Oricorio dance stuff with Volcarona Quiver Dance idea as well. Then you've got standard Grimmsnarl, a Guavberry Instant. I haven't seen that since Sword and Shield. And then the Golduck with Cloud9. Wow. Cloud9 Golduck, man. Muddy Water, Simple Beam, Ice Beam. Yeah, this is it. So much weather, but then you just bring out your Golduck, and now all of a sudden you're cooking. Oh, man. That was the team there. Shout out to Elise, man. They made the team public, by the way, with the pasted EVs. So if you want, you can just go onto their Twitter and grab the paste. Otherwise, you can message me, via Discord, and I can give you the Poke Paste of the squad, because again, they made it public. All right, as we scroll down here, more of that Typhlosion offense team that we saw earlier. Then what else we got here? Oh, another double dragon combo here with Kian Campbell, Dragonite, and Dragon Bolt here. AVD Knight. Hello, AVD Knight. We Inner Focus. Extreme Speed, Stomping Tantrum, Ice Spinner, Terra Blast. This looks like Regulation A as well. Then we got the Ninetales here. We got a Dragon Fairy Steel Core going over here. And then still we got a 2 out of 3 Fire Water Grass Core here, because again, we got Terra Waters here. This is pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. Aurora Veil Ninetales here. You got the Trick Room matchup. You got the fast mode here, ideally. So, yeah, this makes sense. We already previewed Jimmy's team. What else are we looking at here? Jacob O'Connor, there's that same Typhlosion team earlier. Yuki, along with Aaron Trailer and Wolf Click, we're running the same stuff. This is another kind of Typhlosion team. Look at this. Scarf Typhlosion, into the Armarouge, Silk Scarf, Blood Moon here. This is a unique team as well. Sunny Day Whimsicott, of course, with the Typhlosion makes a lot of sense. Because now you don't have to go for Tailwind, you just go for Sunny Day, outspeed everything, click Eruption, things melt. Clean things up with these guys. Alright, and then look at this. This is another one, another one of the most unique teams of the tour. Alvin Mo, look at this. We got Noivern, Toxtricity, and Malamar. What is this? Boom Burst with Telepathy. There it is. There's the idea. Contrary Malamar, Topsy Turvy, yes. And then there's Superpower, right? Mirror Benson, AV Blood Moon here. Hisuian Zoroark. Oh no, look at this. And then look, it's got Fake Tears, Icy Wind stuff as well. Yo, this is a team, man. Alvin, congrats to you. 8-4. Nobody's running that except you, my guy. What else we got here? Standard stuff from Brady. Are we gonna find a color? I know there's at least a color. Yo, wait, no, yeah, we already previewed Blake already there. What else are we gonna find here? Oh yeah, Pengy here. So now Pengy decided to bring Clodsire. All right, so no Sylveon, not enough. We got Clodsire, okay, with Unaware, right? Just like Dondozo, also a leftovers Unaware Yawn user. Instead, we're making use of Clodsire here, and then we still got the Scyther, the Moringa Berry. We still got the Ninetales here. You know, they had a little bit of an unfortunate run in day 2, but hey, they were 7-1 in day 1, so yeah, shout out to them. Look at this. We got Sunflora making day 2. David Cook was literally cooking with this, right? What is this? Solar Power, Solar Beam. All right, so we got the slow. We got the Charizard, but the slow version, right? So then we got Earth Power here. Dusclops, Annihilate, Final Gambit. There we go. We got the nuke there, and then Hammer Armor Ursaluna. Oh, this is pretty good into like, you know, something like Incineroar, I guess, right? And then Clear Smog Torkoal, which is useful to remove your Intimidate buffs. This is a team, man. David, shoutouts to you. What else have we got here? Matt Bruno. Yeah, we previewed Matt a little bit earlier. Is that gonna be? Oh, look at this one. Lindsay with the Oranguru instruct Trick Room stuff, right? What are we instructing? Could be Sneasler stuff here. Gambit, Blood. Oh yeah, there we go. Hyper Voice, Blood Moon here. Oh yeah, we're definitely instructing that. That's just too much damage, right? Good job there, Lindsay. This is Pat, you know, just building around Annihilate there. We got another Scyther team from Bazad. Yep, this is what we saw earlier. You know, with just Archaludon, Farigaf, Blood Moon stuff. And that Scyther has Tailwind, by the way. I just want to point that out. That Scyther has Tailwind, which is, again, I was surprised that Pengy's team did not have as well. What else are we looking at here? I think that was pretty much it. I didn't see anything else there. After that, we're going down to the 5-3 stuff there. So some interesting mons, right? So some interesting teams. Again, like I said, Regulation H will bring out some of the best in these niche mods because of the lower power creep. These guys get to come out and play. And if you choose to make them work and did make them work, again, you get all the props. All right, so that's it. So honestly, like the biggest takeaway from me from this type of region was this team right here. Not necessarily like Ethan, but just because of this 6 that we've seen, like, you know, from Victory Road, and even now you got to see it a couple times here. I think this is like the next rendition of Balance, like this Grassy Seed Volcarona stuff. I think it's really, really good. I think we can build this ourselves and just showcase it for a quick video here, because I think someone can really use this and win some cup games, or at least help them in a regional there. So we're definitely going to build something like this. But otherwise, you know, I still would prepare for like Dondozo stuff. Sand is still okay. The Ninetales Balance stuff with, you know, Grassy Seed Sneasler is annoying. Yawn Ursaluna is still annoying, right? More than ever, right? The Archaludon Rain teams, there's like 20 variations now. So they're still like pretty good. We got this new Typhlosion team that's like looking pretty good right now. That might take pickup speed in the EU regionals, especially this one here with the P2 Balance stuff. But yeah, we'll see what this one looks like. But if you're interested in coaching, right, and you need some help with the upcoming regional, whether it be Vegas or maybe one of the EU regionals, tier 3 sub gets you a team building session with me, where we get to have the call on Discord. We get to build the team from scratch with the full EVs, of course. Then if you want more, that would be tier 4, where we get to still build the team, but now we get to give you feedback with your showdown replays. So now we can help you improve your battling, where if you send us showdown replays with the team that we built, we can advise you on certain matchups, and we can advise you on certain plays to make on certain turns. So this way we can optimize your gameplay as well. All right. But where to do that? Again, look in the video description below. There's a link to join the channel with the tier 3 sub. Otherwise, look in the pinned comment section of the video. Same link, same way to join the channel. So 2 different places to do so. And then after that, you know, you can always join the Discord. That is free, right? We always make that free. 1,300 plus members in our Discord. I can very much say we have one of the largest VGC communities in our Discord. So feel free to join that if you are interested. And you can always find people to spar with. We have a lot of good players in our Discord, so feel free to get some practice with them as well. But yeah, that's it for now, folks. Hopefully you got a little bit out of this for our Milwaukee recap. We'll look at the next regional as well. Belo Horizonte coming up there. And let's see what kind of teams we could get out of that. All right, but that's it for now, folks. We'll be back with another video in the next one. Peace out and have a good one.